Hello and welcome to this presentation. I am Emmanuel and I'll be taking you around this beautifully designed school management application that is done to run all the activities of a school. Well, I have been a teacher for over 7 years now and I know the challenges that teachers and school administrators have been going through as far as managing students' data, controlling fees, producing report cards and transcript is concerned. Sometimes they even go as far as getting the software for some softwares for the management of these activities, but these softwares are so horrible. They just crash down and they are so complicated. Some of them are good, but most of them are just total nonsense. You cannot even use it. You have to always be calling the technician to come and check the system and so on. Sometimes the schools will lose data, they will fill marks, the marks will disappear. So we said no, this thing, there is something that we can do. So that's why we decided to come out with this beautiful software that is so easy to use, as easy as the name implies. And we took into consideration all those difficulties that the schools are facing with the other softwares to make the software to be user friendly, to be easy to use, to be concise, not too cumbersome. Everything is a one page application, single page application, so you don't have to over stress yourself to do something. Everything is just 1 or 2 clicks and you are done. So majority of the work is done automatically and it limits the work of the user and mistakes to be done on the system. So without wasting much of your time, please let me just go right into the software and we see how it looks like. So you have if I just sign out, I'll sign in. When you start up the application, you have a welcome page like this with the school name, the welcome address and the login button. I'll just log in and I will put my password. So it takes you to this dashboard. The dashboard has registration, finance, evaluation, personnel. So if we start with the registration, you have registration of students, registration of subjects, registration of employees, registration of classes, and so on. So with the registration of students, you have this name, address, gender, class, academic year, and so on. You have fee details. This way you can check these fee details, what the child has to pay. The child has to pay tuition, pay PTA, pay ID card and examination and all that. The ones that the child needs to pay, you can check there. Then if you have registered some students and maybe you need to edit their information, you can just search. If I search Emma, so they will give me all the Emmas that are in that school with their classes. So I can, from the classes, I can identify the particular child. So if I double click here, I can edit this information. I can still click, just select, and then I press this edit button and I edit the information. Maybe I want to change the date of birth, the gender, and then I save. When I'm done, I save. So the child has been saved. So you can also delete a student. If I want to delete this student, I can just double click, the child comes up here and I delete. So I have deleted that child. So it has a complete CRUD operation on the software. For software developers, they know what I mean by CRUD. The same thing goes for subjects. You can also create subjects. We have already made some subjects that you can use, but if you don't need these subjects, you can always delete them and create your own. So the same way to edit or delete a subject, you just need to double click, the information comes back up here. You can edit or you delete. So I will go to employees. The same thing goes for employees, the same pattern. of recording, editing, and deleting. You can just double click, the employee's information comes up. You can delete that employee, and you can edit an employee's data, and so on. You save it. The same thing goes for classes. You just set the class code, the class name, the option. You pick some options. There are options that have already been done. You can add an option if you want to. Maybe I want to add something like CJ, carpentry and John Neri is under which I just take industrial ING. I can set the HOD. You have different HODs there. When you are done, you close. It has saved. So if I come, I will definitely see CJ, carpentry and joinery there. So that's that for registration, guys. We go now to finance. For finance, you can do cash collection, means that you can collect fees. You can do cash payment. You can pay for expenses of the school. You can do fee control. You can do management of accounts. So for cash collection, you have to choose the bank, or if you are collecting by cash, you take cash in hand. Mobile money you choose. So if I take bank, I choose the bank. Which bank? I have Cooperative Credit Union, Azire. I have Tarenkon Cooperative Credit Union. I put the amount. If I put maybe 50,000 for the child, it's advance payment. I can pick the transaction details here. I can still write it by myself. So I pick the class of the child, and then I pick which child paid that fee, and I save it, and I save. So the transaction is just, this is a transaction. There's the first transaction up here. This is the name, Nafisatu Karimu. So that's the name. I can print this receipt. So this is the receipt. The receipt has the total fees paid by the child, the amount in words, the name of the child, the matricle number, the class, then the transaction that the child has done. If the child has done more than 2 transactions, they'll be lined up here. Then the balance owing for the child. Then the signature. This is a code. This is a barcode that you can scan to get the details about this transaction. So you just print. You can send it to the printer. And it will print. You select the printer. Anybody knows about this one if you have been working with Microsoft Word and printing documents. So the same method. You can also edit the transaction. If you just double click, the transaction comes up here. You can edit, and then you save. You can backdate and so on. You can pay for school expenses. You have office stationaries. You can select the account, bills, office stationaries, other expenses, salaries, and so on. If I take office stationaries, I want to buy something like chalk. Put the amount 5,000. Pay to who? Put the name of the person that you pay to. Then you save the transaction. There's a transaction here. You don't need to print because you are just recording your expenses. For fees, fee control, you just need to pick the class, and it will show all the students in that class, how much the students have paid, how much they are owing, and their balance owing, and then percentage paid. So you can print this list also. This is a list. If you want to print, you can print it, and then you go to class and control fees in the class. You can send a message to the parents that their children are owing fees and so on. So you can also send this list to the printer. You can send it as PDF and so on. Then you can manage accounts. You just need to pick the account. You want to check the balance of the bank account. You set the date of the start. It can be the beginning of the month, 1st of November to this date. Can be the end of the month, 31st of November. You validate. we have done only 2 transactions this month. So you can see the ledger. So if I backdate this date, if I can send it to maybe September, 1st of September, I validate, you see more transactions between that duration. You can print this ledger. This ledger is good for maybe for management to take some decisions, to know how much has entered, how much, and so on. Okay, so that's that for finances. So we go now to report cards. Evaluation. You need to input marks of the students before you print report cards. So to input the marks, you need to print this mark sheet and give to the teachers. To print the mark sheet, you select the academic year. Let me pick this academic year. Select the class. You select which subject. If I take something like let me take something like manual labor. Something like manual labor. I can print this mark sheet for manual labor. I give the mark sheet. It's a blank mark sheet. I can print it. I give to the teacher. Go and fill your marks and bring. So if you take something like business mathematics, you print its own mark sheet. You see it's showing here business mathematics, the coefficient. Then the teacher of business mathematics is down here. So when the teachers have filled the marks and they return the mark sheets, you can now input their marks. So if you take something like take the manual labor and input marks for manual labor, I can open first term, second term, or third term. So if you take first term, you can input marks for first term. Take second term, you can input marks for second term. So I just want to, I can just put 12, 14, 13, 9, 5, 12, 10, and so on. So the fail marks will show in red and the pass marks will be in black, and so on. So when you are done, you can save. Yes. And look at something. If I put marks like 25, they will refuse 25. That mark range is 0 to 20, so that it limits errors on the system. So you will just remove the mark, you put it again, and so on. So when you are done, you close. The marks are the marks here. So we have that's that for inputting of marks. For result analysis, you want to print the results of the students and paste for them to check and do corrections before mark sheets, before report cards are being printed, so that you don't have errors on the report cards. So you can choose the academic year, you choose the class, you choose the sequence. So I can take something like a first sequence. You have the students that have done first sequence in this class. All the students that have done first sequence in this class, their names will appear here. Asking you now, put the marks for first sequence marks for which subjects. You pick now the subjects. So I have this. I can select the subjects like this. Select. I fill this form. If I fill this form, just do it fast. The order that you want to put, it depends on you. You can start with English, Maths, French. The way you want it to appear on the mark sheet, it depends on you. So if I fill all these things, sorry for wasting much time, just fill. We designed this system in a way that it takes just 18 subjects in a class. So if you have more than 18, then you always have difficulties with this. Maybe you have 2 papers that will come out. So you can see the mark sheet right here. I hope most teachers know this thing. They call it the broadsheet. They mostly call it the broadsheet, and so on. So it has the subjects lined up here, and then the students down here with their marks displayed in this grid. So that is the mark sheet. You can paste this mark sheet now for the students to verify their marks. And then we have a report card. So for the report cards, you just need to choose the academic year, you choose the class, and you have all the students in that class are listed here with their averages. So if you double click on a child, you can see the child's details down here. If you want to print the report card of this child or of the whole class, let's start with the whole class. You also want to print all the class at once. We have two designs of report card. We have the classic design, which is mostly used by general education schools, and we have the technical design that can be used by technical schools. So we'll just see the classic design is done. Is the size is A5 on it, can be printed on an A5 paper. That means two will come out on one sheet. So you have something. Let's take a third term report card. So you have the third term report card here. Third term report card. General subjects are listed here. Professional subjects are listed here. Then other subjects are listed here. Then you have the first term average, second term average, annual average, class council decision, then the class average here, and so on. The position of the child out of the total number of the children in the class. So if you move around, you have the second student there. You can move across, see all the students in that class. So you can print all these report cards at once. You just send them to the printer and print, or you remove it as PDF. Then you can do further formatting and printing from PDF. So the technical design will also look the same. It looks the same like the one that most technical schools use, almost the same. So we have this letterhead here. We have these details. Then we have general education. Their subjects are listed here with the averages. So the only difference between the general and the technical education design. So you have a professional subjects here, their own averages separately, other subjects with their own averages separately, and then you have down here, you have the total average here. You have the information here. Then you have other things, all these things. Those that are having the running technical schools, they know best how to interpret these things. So these are the two designs that you have for report card. You can also send this one to the printer and print as PDF, or you just select a printer and it prints them out. So that is that for the system, guys. There are many other things you can manage, personnel and so on. So thank you very much for your time, and we really hope that you enjoyed this presentation. There was some noise. We are sorry for the noise, the distractions, and we hope that you will maybe get the software and try it. If you are not owning a school, if you like the software, you can still help us tell somebody, show somebody the software, or recommend us to somebody, and maybe we can have some business too. You can be a distributor for the software. If you have some schools that you can talk with them and they agree to get the software, then you get to us, we pass through you, and then we supply them with the software, and you have your commission. There's a good commission too for that. So thank you very much, and we hope that we look forward to doing business with you, and our number will be in the description below. You can contact us via our email or through WhatsApp or even direct calls. We are in Cameroon, and we are struggling to, the system here. We are really trying. It's not easy. Maybe with the crisis, we are trying to maybe make ends meet. So thank you very much for being with us, and upcoming videos will be showing details on how to do each of those things that I explained in this video. So thank you.